Welcome to this final video of my visit to what turned out to be North Ponto Beach after all. We have seen some interesting beach geology as well as been able to observe what amounts to an amazing collection of rhyolites and basalts. And we still have a long ways to go before we're done for the day, so come along with me and by all means watch the first two videos to catch up with us if you have not seen those yet. Hello, my name is Chris, and I'm a rockaholic. I think I've satisfied my curiosity. It's exactly as the guy told me. The berm is pretty small, and I think it ends up there, pretty much. And this other gravel that's on the beach is probably more just the regular gravel that's around here. Anyway, I love the black sand and how it reacts. Let's walk up here and check out some of these rocks, see if there's anything different. Ooh, there might be some cool stuff here. Likely more of the same. Caught my eye, but nice basalt, nothing too exciting. Alright, well maybe I'll pick around here and go back to photographing and recording anything interesting. Beautiful day at, I'm guessing I'm at North Ponto Beach. I bet you South Ponto Beach is south of that waterway and north is north. So I'll do a little research and try to find out exactly where I'm at. But this is really, really cool. Here's another nice porphyry. All right, let's look for some rocks. The main feature we've been seeing in these videos is this amazingly huge cobble berm, which once formed is really self-sustaining. Each crashing storm waves comes in with a few rocks, and the porosity of the berm itself saps any outgoing strength from the wave, and so the stronger the waves, the more the rocks pile up. I'm curious if you guys can notice. So look at this berm. Do you not see or agree that there are far more lighter colored, kind of larger and lighter colored rocks on the right side toward the shoreline, and then towards the left there's a higher percentage of darker, heavier, maybe even smaller rocks. So just a little example of some natural sorting on a very acute scale. Now you can imagine over miles and miles how, for example, the research I did pointed out that most of the rocks are granitic. Well, they are on some of the beaches, but not here. So very interesting. I'm also seeing some very dark black sand down there I want to go check out. Let's just go over there right now. I've got a few rocks in my pocket to show you. As soon as I have enough, we'll look at a batch of rocks. Oh yeah. Look at the sparkle. Little bit of pink in there, but mostly definitely magnetite. Black sand. See how it forms a crust? Very interesting, because it's, I think they're maybe flaky. I'm not sure why, but they always form this hard crust, whereas other sand doesn't as much. Well, I think the rain showers evaporated before they got here. It's awfully sunny right now. But look at this beautiful pile just in a few minutes. This one is interesting. Get the right hand because I need the gloveless hand to operate the camera. So this is one of those basalts, or rhyolite. It could be a rhyolite, but the blurry light colored areas are softer. I don't want to call them clasts because they don't have definite edges, but it's like that all the way around. And then the darker material is harder. Just an interesting piece. Another rhyolite. And I wanted to point out, I found a few of these. One I think I showed you earlier, but they appear to be, could be a marble or maybe a limestone, like a black limestone, or even a jasper. I mean, I'm just looking visually. The hardness of it though, and the fact that it's here and hasn't disintegrated, makes me think it's more of a jasper. And here's some more olivine in basalt, likely. We'll get these wet here in a minute. Beautiful breccia. I like when the breccias have the lighter colored clasts as opposed to darker, because darker is so much more common. In this one, they're lighter. And just for the record, here are a couple of granites. Good old classic granite. But I noticed they're not totally rounded off, and I've seen material similar to this used as riprap to hold back, for example, where we were earlier, where that dike, or I forgot the word I'm looking for, where the waterway goes out. Jetty, I think is the word. Here's a more eroded, rounded piece of granite. You can definitely tell it's granite. It's got the feldspar and quartz. It's got some little veins of maybe hematite going through it. Anyway, let's see what these look like wet. I bet they're stunning. Oh yeah. Beautiful. How's that for some color? Unlimited eye candy going on today. Yeah, that's vivid. I really like that. You guys who know me, you know I like breccias and conglomerates. Nice green basalt here. This one's sure prettied up wet. Yeah, very nice. This I thought was interesting. It's one of those two-colored porphyries, but it's got a nice vein going through it. Thought you'd like to see that. Anyway, let's keep looking, see what else we can find. Part of me wants to take this one home, but I think I have some like this from San Diego. I have to be careful because I'm only taking a carry-on bag and they might take all my rocks away from me. I'm kind of laughing at myself because if you've been following the channel, you know I have this habit of getting places unprepared. I think in the last video I brought the water bottle but it didn't have water in it, or because I often don't know when we're gonna stop or where we're gonna go, and I need to just make a kit and always have it with me. But this time I brought the spray bottle full of water, and I have a gallon jug full of water in my backpack. So there's no running dry today. Took me all of about 5 minutes to make another pretty good pile for you. Some more. I'm pretty sure everything here is rhyolites or basalt. This is a basalt porphyry. But look at this. You remember there's a Bible verse I always quote where Moses said, Well, the Lord said through Moses when he was giving the law to let every testimony be established by the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. And I always like to quote that when I find 2 identical rocks. That tells me there's a huge amount of it somewhere. Because what are the chances of me finding 2 of these? This is the rock with the beautiful vesicles lined with what looks like olivine. Yeah. And I really like these, so that's cool that I've got 2 of them. Then this looks like a pyroxene-rich porphyry of some kind. A lot of this material in the Yellowstone River. So it's cool to see it here in Southern California. A rhyolite with a, what is likely a basalt clast in it. Not too exciting, but just cool to see the different forms. A red basalt breccia. This again is, it's glassy smooth. Even through the glove I can feel how smooth it is. So, but it's not a jasper. It's not, it doesn't have the right kind of fracture to be a jasper. I think it's just a good hard basalt. And what else do we got? The light colored rhyolite. Let's see what these look like wet. Ooh, color, color, color. Yeah, beautiful stuff. Lots of geology here. For those of you who know about petrology and geology, there's a lot going on that I'm probably missing. I mentioned earlier that the current longshore drift tends to be from north to south, but in the geologic past, this has not always been so. Here is some information about this if you are interested in digging a little deeper. These rocks have truly taken an amazingly long journey to get to us today. All this recording has beat my phone down to where it's about to go off, so I brought my charger, my big battery charger. I'm gonna charge up, eat a little bit of lunch, drink some water, and then we'll get back to it. Well, I got done with my little lunch break here, and I had to charge my phone. That took a while, and I got a nice phone call from my wife. That's always a blessing. I can't wait to go home in about 4 days. Lord willing, I will be back. But during all of that, I was able to collect this little pile of rocks here. Unfortunately, the sun went away, but I wanted to show you this. It's another piece of what looks like aventurine, and when you look at the flat sides of it, it's very sparkly. So that's what makes me think of aventurine. It's not any exciting colors, but I'm showing this to you because this is the only piece of quartz, anything even related to quartz, that I have found. There's no quartz here at all, no granite pegmatites of any kind, nothing of any of that. It's almost all rhyolites and basalts and a few granites. So that's the only reason I picked this up. It's just a sample. Then I picked up a few what I call therapeutic rocks. This is a very smooth, yeah, in my hand without the glove, I mean, this is flawless. Not to mention it's a beautiful purple. And then I have a black one similar to it. Again, a flawless rock. I like the plain colored ones too, you know. And then I've got, what else did I pick up that's interesting? Just some cool varieties. This one has these black clasts, which are obviously harder. They protrude quite a bit from the rock. So I thought that was interesting. Most likely a basalt. Here's another one that's similar to it. Probably the same material or similar. Then I had another one with olivine. Not that one. Anyway, just a colorful mix. Nice banded rhyolite here. We'll get these wet. They're really cool wet. Here's a purple porphyry. I have not seen too many porphyries that are purple, so I thought that was interesting. Actually, it's really hard to tell. I'll probably be able to see it better when I see the video on my large monitor, if those are vesicles that are filled, or if they are phenocrysts. It's just a good looking rock. Let's get these wet. Yeah, very nice assortment. Quite colorful. I think that's another pyroxene porphyry there. After today's encounter with this amazing berm and its geology, and the fact that most of it consists of rhyolite, I have decided that at some point in the future I want to get back here and specifically try to catalog as many different rhyolites as possible, and then try to find information regarding the causes of such an array of colors and patterns found in a single rock type. I am sure it boils down to the wide possibilities of mineral composition and percentages, along with an equally wide range of exact cooling and pressure conditions within a lava flow or eruption. I always admire God's handiwork, and remember that had he wanted to, he could have made them all gray and they would really serve the same purpose. But I think for us, and for maybe his own reasons, he decided to make them as amazing as he did. Those of you with large and varied collections, such as I have on my displays from places like the Yellowstone River, or my Oregon rocks from Adam's Beautiful Store on eBay, collections that took as many as 30 years to build, and think of your own collections or gardens, and now realize that I collected all these rhyolites we're seeing in this little pile here in 1 hour. What would a guy find if he really spent some months or years just on this one beach? What kind of geological puzzles would he be able to solve? I really hope I get to come back at some point in the future. If any of you watching today happen to live near this beach or a similar interesting location, I encourage you to make such an ongoing investment into a single local area, and thus document or record it for us all. Again, these types of rocks are overlooked by much of the rockhounding world, and so if you and I don't get out and record this, it is likely that no one else will. And how many treasures will go overlooked, and how much geology will not be discovered? Well, the clouds are rolling back in. It's mid-afternoon. I think the tide's coming back in too. These waves are coming closer and closer to the shore. So beautiful. So I looked further down the beach and it doesn't seem to be changing into anything, so I'm going to start heading back. It's a little ways back, and we'll see if we can find a few more rocks before it's time to go. In the meantime, let's just enjoy this black sand. It's really so cool looking. I'm sure glad you guys come along with me on these videos. That's part of why I do these, because it's fun to share, and I think of those of you who maybe don't have such opportunities to get to places like this. So I try to show them as completely as possible in anything related to rocks. We'll talk about the sand, we'll talk about the geology, and of course look at rocks, and then look at more rocks, and maybe some more rocks after that, and then if we're not tired of looking at rocks, we'll look at some more rocks. Oh, yeah, that water's coming in fast. This is cool. Maybe we'll get to see the tide rolling in. This is definitely going to be one of my longer videos. Usually when I go to places, I'm with somebody, and And either I have a schedule to keep or they have a schedule to keep. But today, I came by myself and I do not have a schedule to keep. So I was just telling my wife that, you know, I may never get here again. So I want to seize the moment. And when we're blessed with a season like that in life, we need to enjoy it. There's a very yellow rock. Nothing too exciting. Yeah, I remember a little while ago I came walking down this sand. And now with the storm approaching, it's supposed to start raining and the tide's probably coming in. Sure enough, it's coming a little closer each wave. I've pretty much had the beach to myself. Not sure if that's normal considering it's a Saturday. You'd figure that's when there'd be a lot of people, but there's only 2 or 3 people that I can see. So, and that's how it's been all day. So, that's coming. Hurry, hurry. So if you remember when we were talking about the black sand and the gravel berms, they referred to a swash zone. So like the swash zone is where the waves start rushing in. And then the upper limit of it would be, you know, wherever they're stopping at a given point. And that upper limit changes all the time, each time the tide goes in and out. But the big deposits that are memorable come from the giant storms. So like that berm is probably the result of 30 years, as the guy was telling me, of the bigger storms. They push stuff all the way up there. You can see it's getting taller as we go back south. So if you look that way, it gets lower. I can definitely appreciate it because I just walked through it all. Then by the time you get down here to that waterway, it's just massive. And so what I think has happened is when they built that jetty, it would be interesting to see when they built that, it changed the current just enough to drop all the rocks here. Anyway, spectacular place. Ponto Beach. Still not sure if this is north or south, but it's Ponto Beach in Carlsbad, California. Well guys, thanks so much for coming along today. This has been quite a long adventure. I think we covered quite a bit of geology and found a lot of cool rocks in the realm of volcanics, rhyolites, basalts, and a few other goodies. Hold on a sec, not before we show one more beautiful piece of brecciated basalt. Again, the beauty of a lot of these stones is that they are flawless. No cracks, no pits. Just nice pieces. My glove is getting it all wet. We're gonna call it a day. God bless you. We look forward to seeing you on the next one. Again, this is Ponto Beach. I won't say north or south because now I really don't know. In Carlsbad, California. Just remember, if you come, it's the one that's north of that waterway right there, which is close to Encinas Avenue. Give you a point of reference. Beautiful beach, pretty much all to yourself. and lots of rhyolite.